And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day, committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, and so much more. Over 80 show partners now with the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we're all going to help you win. We don't care what you're doing. If you're climbing a corporate ladder, if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work, we're going to help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Pull out your smartphone, save our hotline number in your phone, 813-670-7372. That is our Consumer Advocate Hotline.
Here's my number, so call me maybe.
813-917-1894. You can give us a call there as well. Check out consumerqb.com. Consumerqb.com. That's our website, newly redesigned website as well at consumerqb.com. Compliments of the web design ninja of Tampa Bay, Teo Leonard. And check out that site. There's going to be a lot of information there. Past shows, previous shows. You can click on the contact form, and you can shoot us an email directly. You can click on the show contributors form, and you'll see all of our expert contributors. Again, all the folks that we bring in to educate, entertain, enlighten. But most importantly, we want to engage you. So reach out. We'd love to hear it when you're reaching out here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Giving a shout out to our restaurant partner, Hula Bay, one of our restaurant partners here. Waterfront ambiance, excellent food, wonderful sushi. And the tuna is fresh from Hawaii every 2 days, directly brought in from Hawaii. And it's excellent waterfront ambiance down at Hula Bay, one of our official restaurant partners. And go say hello to the management team down there. Make sure you let them know, like Todd know, that the real estate quarterback sent you, and you're going to get a free water with lemon every single time.
Oh, wow.
It's so great. You sit down, they got water with lemon there. And they're going to hook you up. All right, so Intelligent Talk Radio, we got some intelligent folks here in studio. We're going to help you win. And Hillsborough County property appraiser Bob Henriquez in the house. Welcome back in, Bob.
Brandon, it's always my pleasure, and I'll come here as long as you're going to say that I'm intelligent. That's great. Right. I can't get that at home.
You know, I try to build you up. You know, I do brag about you now that hey, we're going to talk portability. We're going to talk taxes. We're going to
Trim notice is about to go out.
Trim notice is going out, so there's a lot of things happening in that space. So we might talk a little football. Who knows?
Always do.
It sometimes it comes topical this time of year as well. Jake Alexander also in the house, and he's a enrolled agent with the IRS, and he's a taxation expert. So welcome in, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure. I like the positive reinforcement as well. So if you need to throw around some more intelligence,
I'd be
more than welcome to take a couple of those.
Savvy. He's so savvy. He's tax savvy here. We're going to help you win in the tax game as well, and help make you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Snoop Dogg is in the house. Jay Smith, owner of A Snoop Inspection.
Hey, glad to be here. Another day in paradise.
That's right.
You got me stuck inside today, though. I mean, I'd rather be outside enjoying the sunshine.
Yeah. Soaking up a little AC today, get that AC going, get you out of those attics every now and then.
Attic's a little hot this time of year.
That's right. Yeah, getting out there. So any inspections you need out there in Tampa Bay, Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection, the best in the business. And he's going to take, what I love about with Jay Smith, learning over the years, longtime contributor on the show, is, especially for first-time buyers, you take them through the houses. We'll talk more, later in the show. But, that's a special thing when somebody's buying that house for the first time.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's so much to know about a house. It's not just moving in and enjoying it. There's constant things to be looking at around your home, not just when we do the inspection.
That's right. Coming up as well, we got the top 10 most popular sports in 2017. So that list might be a little bit different from back in our day, maybe we'll see. And then we also have a feel-good story of the week as well. A police officer buys shirt and a tie for a shoplifter who needed an outfit for a job interview. So that's coming up in our feel-good story of the week. And let's go ahead and jump right into this great content. We got Bob Henriquez here in studio, Hillsborough County Property Appraiser's office. And yeah, man, so those trim notices are going out. And, when you look at it, sometimes in real estate, I've been in real estate for 15, 20 years now, and we get the questions. There's some of those common questions. We're going to go through some of those misnomers out there today in this interview. But, yeah, man, so welcome back in. What's going on?
No, it's great to be here. This is a big time of the year for us. Our office is, we call it go time.
Yeah.
But we're going to be printing the trim notices over the weekend. They'll go out over the course of next week. Actually, the 18th is the official date, mailing date for Hillsborough County's trim notices. 520,000 properties will be noticed come next week, and then of course our phones and our offices will be pretty busy answering questions, and we look forward to answering those questions as best we can. The important thing to know is that from the time that's mailed on the 18th, there's 25-day period. 25-day period starts for folks that want to file VAB or Value Adjustment Board petitions if they believe that their assessment was inaccurate one way or the other. Oddly enough, we're getting more and more petitions of people that say that our number's too low, if you can believe that or not.
Interesting.
Really?
And it's really an interesting phenomenon. For resale or for portability issues, I think, or for other reasons.
Yeah.
And then also for folks that maybe their exemption has been is not, doesn't show up, or that it's been denied or something like that. But we're looking forward to working with those folks. The vast majority of folks are happy after we get a chance to talk to them. So we look forward to it. So that's what we do.
Yeah, that's great. So we talked about 520,000 different properties. The trim notice is going out. You're going to be busy this next week. And you talked about a VAB petition. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, the formal way to appeal your assessment is through the Value Adjustment Board process. And it's a quasi-judicial process. There's a board there along with a special magistrate in Hillsborough County, so that you actually would come forward and say if you think that the number is inaccurate, that it's too high, too low, whatever it may be. You can do it as an individual citizen or have representation there. What we try to do whenever somebody files a Value Adjustment Board petition, that we try to meet with those folks and get with them, take a closer look, and try to solve those issues before we ever get to the process. Actually in the process, and the vast majority of those cases are withdrawn or withdrawn satisfied. A small number out of about 3,000 we had last year, which was up just slightly from the year before. Only a few hundred actually go forward through the whole process. But it's again, it's the constitutional right of folks to challenge their assessment if they like.
Okay. Now, if you just joined us, by the way, Brandon Rhymes here. We're talking with Hillsborough County Property Appraiser, Mr. Bob Henriquez, and let's talk about portability now, because that's an important topic. It comes up in the real estate game a lot. We're helping people sell their homes. They're thinking, okay, what is my tax incentive going to be, or liability going to be? Let's talk about that.
Well, for folks that are homesteaded properties, and again, out of the 520,000, there's about 300,000. Approximately 300,000 homesteaded properties in Hillsborough County, and in those, if you have a homesteaded property, then you're protected by the Save Our Homes cap. When that came into being, it was the idea that your taxable value couldn't go up in any given year more than 3%, or inflation, which has been far less than 3% over the last few years.
Right.
The coincidental or the unintended consequence of that constitutional amendment was that we found that then people were kind of stuck in their homes. They weren't being taxed out of their homes anymore, but then they were stuck because they had this great tax benefit. Portability was what came into being back in 2009 as a way to address that issue, that now the differential between your just or market value and your taxable value, you created a pool of money there that you could then port to lower the initial taxable value of your new home.
Nice.
And so and whether you be upsizing or downsizing, if you're downsizing, it's a percentage. If you're upsizing, it's a dollar for dollar, up to $500,000 on the cap. During the downturn, we didn't see a lot of people who are necessarily accruing cap unless you were in certain parts of the county or city. But right now, pretty much everybody has a cap. And as a matter of fact, I just bought a new home, and I'll be taking advantage of the small cap that I had on my old home to be able to lower that that initial taxable value. We have a calculator on our website, information about portability. If you have any questions, please just give us a call or contact us, and we'll be glad to answer those as best we can.
And your social media is at HCPA Florida. Your social media?
That's right.
Perfect. Yeah, that's awesome, Bob. And So Hillsborough County property appraisers, the values, what's going on with the values, just in generally speaking? I know you get into, you go into South Tampa, you get Seminole Heights, you get these different areas. What are you seeing just in general? Things are still looking good.
Yeah, we're seeing it very similar. It's been very kind of steady over the past few years. Anywhere between 6.5% and 8% increase in property value countywide. Some areas more than others. This year was a little bit lower than in the residential area than we've seen in the last couple of years, but not significantly. But we're still seeing rising property values. What we've really seen is a tremendous uptick in new construction, as you know, with the inventories down. So a lot of new construction, particularly in South Tampa. Also, where we've seen a lot of sales activity, we track that. The urban core, particularly Seminole Heights, Tampa Heights, Wellswood, as you might suspect, those areas are on fire right now.
Yeah.
And with home sales and also new construction where they're tearing down homes or buying bigger lots and splitting them.
Yep.
And doing some of the things that you were seeing in South Tampa in the past. It's happening now there. And again, it's a function of a lot of different things. The market, people want to be closer to work. They're tired of the commutes from fighting the traffic from West Chase or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. But a lot of new construction south. We're probably half again where we were during the run up before the downturn in the economy, but we're still seeing very healthy 5,000 or 6,000 new housing starts in the county.
Wow. That's tremendous. That is significant. And real estate as a whole, people sometimes they talk about the 2008 repeating, an issue of that repeating. I'd like to get your opinion on that.
Well, again, I think it's difficult to compare. We've heard for years dire kind of predictions that there's this bubble, and but I don't think the fundamentals are the same as they were that caused that crash. It's much more difficult in terms of, and having just gone through it, what the things that you have to do to get a loan and those kinds of things. But there are unforeseen things out there. What we're seeing is a kind of slow and steady rise in property values, so you don't see the run up that we saw.
That's right.
So the property values that were going up 25-30% in a year, we're seeing this 4, 5, 6, 7% increases. So I'm not sure that we're that it's similar as apples to oranges to some extent. But there's a lot of unknowns we don't know. A lot of this, I think, has to do with the interest rates have remained low. You keep hearing that the Fed's going to raise interest rates, and it just hasn't happened.
Yep.
That may have an effect. Obviously, there's other things out there. North Korea,
what's going on there?
Russia, there's all kinds of stuff out there but right now, consumer confidence seems to be high.
Yeah.
Again, in the face of all the kind of weird stuff that we're hearing out there. So, but right now, again, and we see it, but we don't really. We can't really predict. We have to follow the market, and what happens. But we continue to see a very strong, pretty stable market.
Now, shifting gears here, talk a little football.
Okay.
Let's bring Hard Knocks into the conversation.
Absolutely.
Tampa, a lot of big things happening in Tampa Bay. We've got the NHL All-Star game coming up in January, I believe it is. A lot of cool things happening around Tampa Bay. From
Rays
different
can't
events.
Get a hit. So.
Rays struggling. I saw they had an 8-2 loss or something like that.
Well, I was there for the walk-off on Sunday, so that was good. The kids
nice. Nice. But, great things happening here in Tampa Bay. Now, Hard Knocks, that was quite a big deal having HBO. I was actually at the Hotel Zamora this past weekend. They had a Sunday pool party with one of my friends and business partners, kind of with.
I don't think you invited any of us. Did you get?
I saw it on Facebook. It looked fun.
I told you guys.
Exciting.
I told you where you needed to be, and they were filming Hard Knocks there at the Hotel Zamora, our hotel partner.
Okay.
So Ian Beckles had his show live from 11 to 1 over there, 102.5 The Bone. We've got that Sunday show over there on the Bone. But, Hard Knocks, Tampa Bay, first time. They've only been around 5 or 6 seasons, with Hard Knocks, HBO series Hard Knocks, if you haven't heard of it. Pretty cool stuff going on.
Absolutely. Obviously, I stayed up and watched it the other night. It's always great to see. I'm a native 5th generation, and anytime I can see, our I'm so proud of our area. I think all of us are. We realize we live in paradise.
That's right.
To see it highlighted the way that it has been, and it's interesting because you and I were football junkies, so we watch anything that has to do with football. But this show, at least so far, has a very different feel. Very Tampa, very and I think there's a good vibe around the team. There's a good vibe about this show, and so it was interesting to watch. It was. I look forward to next. It'll be interesting as they get further on, and start making the cuts and all the stuff that they have to do. But it was fun to watch. Certainly wasn't. It was largely human interest, this first show, less football.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Ian was telling me about that. But all right, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and hit our break here, and when we come back, more from our expert contributors here in studio. Give a shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed by the Maids Cleaning Service. They are referred for a reason. So coming up in the show, more from Bob Henriquez, Hillsborough County Property Appraiser. We're going to talk taxes and financial information with Jake Alexander and also Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection, coming up as well. And we've got some interesting stories. We're going to do our top 10 most popular sports in 2017, as well as our feel-good story of the week. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to ConsumerQB.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, a former USF football player, played on the inaugural football team, University of South Florida, longtime quarterback on my sports teams. Now we're quarterbacking transactions for our sellers out there, and we are looking for an inventory. If you are a seller on the fence thinking about selling your real estate properties, we would love to talk to you. And, lack of inventory out there, and owner of Platinum MVP Realty. We want to help you win. We want to help you maximize the profits on the sale of your real estate properties. So reach out at 813-670-7372. That's our hotline, 670-7372, and that's REQB as the last four there. And we're also at consumerqb.com, helping you win in any marketplace at consumerqb.com. And we're giving a shout out to Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach, our official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, the Castile Restaurant and Lounge there. You got the 360 rooftop bar as well. Awesome place to hang out. Go check them out. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and you're going to get a 10 to 20% discount off of your room stay. You're also going to get a nice couple extra gifts in your room when you check in. So Spanish ancestry meets cool Mediterranean attitude at the Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on St. Pete Beach. Rooftop yoga on the weekends. Great place to have some fun and take a little staycation here in beautiful Tampa Bay. All right, so we got little tease on the Hard Knocks. I want to talk more about that, Bob. Bob Henriquez, Hillsborough County Property Appraiser in studio. We also have Jake Alexander Financial, Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection here. So give us a little bit more. So was it the opening show was just a little bit more of an opening feel, kind of setting the base for all the training camp fights that are coming up?
Absolutely. Well, it was very interesting. I think it was a lot of human interest. They used to open the show with Jameis Winston going back to his roots, back to where he grew up in Mississippi and the kind of very humble beginnings, which was interesting, I think, in a way, because I think the perception nationally probably is still not necessarily altogether positive from some of the things that we know went on during his time in college. I think they were trying to set the stage to show him, to kind of soften his image. And went from there. They had him in a coaches meeting with Dirk Cutter, which was very interesting. Being a quarterback, I think you get a lot out of it, because it was I used to call it with my quarterbacks the curse speech, because I had some pretty talented quarterbacks, as you know, that were physically gifted. I used to say, well, you have a curse, you can make a play every play. And they'd say, well, how is that a curse? I said, because sometimes, as you know, the best play for a quarterback is not to make any play at all. Throw the ball away, eat it, take a sack and things like that. And sometimes it's hard when you're capable of doing amazing things not to try to do it, but sometimes that's when you try to throw the ball back against your body in the middle of the field, throw an interception.
That's right.
So there was a talk about ball security. You have a defense now that can stop people, at least in theory. We stopped them last year, got to stop them in the future. But so that was kind of interesting. And then they went on. I think the star of the show was this third string Mike linebacker from undrafted free agent from Michigan State, who's just a character, long hair, tattoos, and just getting after it on the field, dropping F-bombs or what have you. A lot of spirit, and brought some juice to the defense that I think that maybe they were lacking. That I think has really caught the eye of certainly the viewing public, from what I hear, but the coaches as well. So it was good. There'll be more football as they go along, because they just started practice.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, it's that time of year. We're having some fun. It's also that time of year to start planning for the taxes. We're going to bring Jake Alexander in the conversation. He's an enrolled agent. And when you think about taxes and you think about, preparation, it starts now, not waiting till March or February. Now is the time to start planning for that.
Absolutely. And I tell people now is our favorite time of the year. It's tax planning season,
That's
and
right.
As fun as it is to talk about football, I guess that's a segue into taxes.
Yes.
But we, a lot of people, they overcomplicate, I think, what is tax planning? What does that mean? How do I find a professional that's going to help me put this stuff together? And so I tell people in its simplest form, tax planning is analyzing your overall situation, whatever it may be, and coming up with a comprehensive plan to legally and morally pay the least amount of taxes possible.
Right. And
everyone should be doing this. If your situation is rather simple up to very complicated, it works on all levels. And so it can come in many forms. People who are, if you're a W-2 wage earner, say you work for an employer, Let's say you're going to switch employers this year, or let's say you're going to stick with that same employer, but maybe switch jobs and your income is going to increase or decrease. How does that affect, your withholdings? How should you fill out your new W-9 to where should we have them withhold more taxes throughout the course of the year? Should we have them withhold less? And there's all kinds of situations. Family life, are you getting married this year? Are you maybe unfortunately getting unmarried this year? We deal with that from time to time too. And so how do those things affect your overall situation? And now is the time of year to be proactive. Let's sit down, let's make a plan. So that way you and I both know what to expect when it does come tax time.
That's right. Yeah. Proactive. That's something we talk about a lot here on the show. We want to make you more street smart and help you think a layer deeper. So what about these self-employed guys and gals out there? That's where we see on the lending side, on the real estate side, a lot of the challenges, the catch-22 that involves there. What do you say to that space?
Absolutely. And so that's kind of on the converse, right? There's your employed people and then you have self-employed people. And I'm sure you see a ton of stuff working with lenders of, okay, how do things need to look in a certain form or fashion to get them approved for the loan that they're looking for? And that's where a lot of this stuff comes into play too. I work with a handful of mortgage lenders, a handful of financial planners, and it's all going to come down to, what does your business look like? The interesting part of this business for me is every situation is so different. So there's not a typical answer, but people who are self-employed, 1 year, especially if it's a new business, your income may look as such, and the next year it may triple all of a sudden. And so although that's good on a lending side, we're going to be able to get you approved for way more than you would have expected or maybe even need. How's that going to affect your tax liability at the end of the year? So do we need to be making quarterly estimated payments? How many employees are we hiring? Because that's going to affect your payroll taxes. There's just so much that goes into it. But I tell people, don't let it overwhelm you. The better relationship you have with your tax professional and the more times per year you touch base with them, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna jump into some more tax strategy, maybe talk some 1031 exchange as well when we come back with Jake Alexander. He's the owner of Alexander Financial, office based in Largo, I believe.
Yep.
And he's an enrolled agent with the IRS, so a little different than the typical CPA version, but definitely something that he's enrolled in 50 states, so definitely on that next level when it comes to tax preparation expertise as well. We're going to bring Jay Smith, owner of A Snoop Inspection, into the conversation, and more from Bob Henriquez as well in our lightning round. And you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region of Florida's #1 consumer advocate program. Our signals all the way down to Fort Myers, Naples, Marco Island, and we're going to help you win no matter what you're facing. We want to hear from you. Reach out, hit us up on social media as well, Facebook.com/Brandon Rhymes PA, at Twitter, on Twitter at Brandon Rhymes 1, and we'll see you on the other side of the break.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties, working with buyers and investors out there as well. We got a great team at Platinum MVP Realty, one of our premier sponsors, and also giving a shout out to Signature Massage and Facial Spa in Tampa. Are you looking for a place to get a massage and facial at an affordable price, but not having to sign up for a membership? And look no further. At Signature Massage and Facial Spa, they offer a 1-hour Swedish massage for $49.95. Always no contracts. Come in early and get the early bird hour rate at a $10 off. There you'll receive a professional massage at a great price. And for those muscles and knots that need extra work, ask about getting a deep tissue or sports massage. And if skincare is what you're looking for, they have amazing facial and microderm packages. Check out Signature Massage and Facial Spa at 11248 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa, or give them a call directly at 813-925-8898, 813-925-8898. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Use the RELAX coupon code, and you're going to get additional benefits. I think it's 10 to 15% off as well. All right, in studio today, Bob Henriquez, Hillsborough County Property Appraiser. You can reach out on social at HCPA Florida on Instagram and Facebook, as well as Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection, and also Jake Alexander at Alexander Financial USA, and he's an enrolled agent with the IRS. So we left off with Jake. We're talking about being proactive, planning, some of the ideas that you want to look at when it comes to tax. Tax avoidance. Are we allowed to say avoidance?
Probably not the term I would use. Okay.
Tax. Let's say
I can't say that. Okay. But
I like what you said earlier. You said legally and morally and all that.
Absolutely,
good
stuff. And the U.S. courts stand behind that. There's a quote, and I'll mess it up if I try to say it, but the gist of it is there's no legal or moral duty to increase your taxes. Anyone can arrange their affairs to pay the Treasury as least as possible, and so. Kind of back to the situations, it comes in a number of different forms. It can be changes in your personal life. Did you get married? Did you get divorced? Did you have a baby? That's a shameless plug for me. My wife's pregnant. We're due on January 19th.
Awesome.
So did you bring it? Yeah. Thank you. Did you bring a new baby into the world? Are your babies to the age where they're going away to college? So how is that going to affect your taxes for next year? The money you're investing in their education for tuition, books, all that kind of stuff. Is that going to make you eligible for some tax credits next year? And then you have kind of the other side we were talking about with the self-employed people, the business owners. And then some people are what I like to call hybrids, where the husband owns his own business, maybe even multiple businesses. Wife works a W-2 job. And so how does that affect your situation too? Because then, in my opinion, you're in a really good situation because you're self-employed. You can take advantage of a lot of the deductions that the typical employee W-2 workers not privy to, while at the same time the W-2 employee is having taxes withheld throughout the course of the year, so they can begin to counteract each other at the end of the year. And so all kinds of different situations. We love talking to people. I love hashing this stuff out. Call me crazy or weird or whatever, but this is what we do, and we'd love to have a conversation around it.
Yeah, I like it. It's business strategy. A lot of people open up a little side business to at least open up. Hey, I got the home office. I can use a certain amount of square footage. There's strategies there. Yesterday's show with Scott Maurer, Advanta IRA, we were talking a lot about real estate, the ability to buy through an IRA. I mean, that's a really smart play. Grant Cardone's been on our show, Cardone Acquisitions, somewhere around $500,000 or $500 million net worth with his real estate holdings. Wow. So he talked about, he kind of brags about how he's never paid taxes on his real estate because he just buys them through an IRA and he flips them through and he does a 1031 exchange if he's ever trading something out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Drew Dodano, he's a lawyer, a state and trust planning attorney. He's been keeping me up to date on some of the laws and everything like that too. But a lot of people will get in a situation where they're reinvesting their profits from real estate through a 1031 exchange. And then I didn't know this, but upon death, assets transferred up to a certain amount, there's no tax due on those. And so when you look at things like succession planning and generational wealth, these are just secrets that the wealthy individuals have been privy to for years and years, and the more we educate ourselves and the general public on this, the better everyone is, you know?
Yeah, and long time perspective is that story I talk about with Dr. Eber Banfield of Harvard conducting that study, and the long short of that story is that long time perspective is what a lot of millionaires and especially you talk about transitioning wealth from generations, that's something that you want to think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Proactive. Yeah, excellent. Jake Alexander, he's the tax guy in Tampa Bay. If you want to talk to him, enrolled agent Jake Alexander, 813-670-7372. Call or text that line at 813-670-7372. And also, you can submit a form at our website, consumerqb.com. Just submit the form directly there. And more from Jake coming up as well. Let's bring Jay Smith into the conversation, owner of A Snoop Inspection. He's out there. He's hustling for you. He's checking out these real estate properties. If you're looking to buy a property, you got to get that home inspected.
Definitely. Real estate's continuing to just move along. It's going as fast as we can keep up with it. Like you said earlier, we really like working with the first-time home buyers. And if they're looking at an older house, there's things that may need to be done that they're not aware of. We're always trying to give them a heads up, not on how the house is just today, but if there's some larger expenses that may be coming up in the next 5 years, whether the roof is great today, it's no problem using it, but then it may be at the end where they have to invest a lot of money in redoing a roof, heating and air conditioning, any of those large items around the house.
That's right. You talk about that deferred maintenance that you see on some of these properties, and that's something that's could. The buyer gets into the home. 2 or 3 years later, they say, "Oh wow, now I've got to replace this. I got to look at repairing that." That's the type of an idea you want to have.
Well, exactly. I mean, the roofs, average life in Florida is 15 to 20 years, and it depends on what type of roof is there. If you're looking at a regular old asphalt 3-tab shingle, 16, 18 years is a normal life expectancy. If you're buying a house and it's got a 14-year-old roof, it could be in great shape that day, but you may be putting out another $6,000, $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 in just a couple of years. And are you prepared for that?
Yeah.
We don't want you to be stuck, and we don't want you to have moisture getting into the house because you can't afford to do the roof.
Yeah. And then, so kind of going down, so the roof is number one. Number two on the list, what is that, your HVAC system? Yeah,
your HVAC is, I'm sure, the second mark that's going to cost you a good amount of money. You're talking, again, thousands of dollars. It's not just a $300 or $400 or $500 fix. You're investing thousands in that. And, of course, the AC, as it goes bad, it's costing you on your electricity. You may not even be noticing that it's not working as well as it was 3 months ago, and now it's starting to cost you $15 more, $20 more a month, and that will keep increasing until it just goes out.
Wow.
A yearly maintenance of your heating and air is 100% something you should be doing, and that's the kind of things we want to give the first-time home buyers a heads up on.
Yes.
That it's not you move in and it's you just leave and go to work and come home every day that the house will be fine. It's things that you've got to keep up with all along, every year, every day.
Yeah, that's right, Jay. Jay Smith here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Jay, so whenever these first-time buyers come in, there's a lot of questions. There's, they're not even sure how to operate certain aspects of the home, the appliances, especially if you have a complicated property where you've got any kind of automation in place, security systems. Let's talk about that, because I love that aspect when you talk about how you work with these first-time buyers.
Well, we do run through the appliances, and if they're there, we're more than happy to show them how things are working. Where their main water shut off. I mean, that's a big deal, especially if you're buying an older house. You never know when you're going to have a plumbing problem. And just knowing where you need to go out and shut your water off sounds like a normal thing, but I'd be interested to know how many people actually don't know where their main water shut off on their home is and whether it operates. I mean, that's the second part. It's great to even know where it is, but is it actually working? You should be checking that on a regular basis.
Yeah, we used to have to do that for property preservation work. We would do the winterizations, and sometimes it's more difficult to find than you think.
Absolutely,
cutting off the water.
And of course, this has been a bad year for termites. Even keeping an eye out, giving them an idea of what kind of damage termites can do, and what to be looking for when you need to go ahead and call that professional and have them come in and do an inspection just on that. We don't personally do the termite inspections, but we're going to recommend someone to come out and take a look at that on a regular basis also.
Yeah. We recently had one of those termite inspection that is done at our condo, and I was surprised. It was literally just a visual. They're just walking around looking for the wings and droppings and whatnot. Just very
beating on the walls a little bit, seeing if anything's falling or cracking.
I was like, is there some type of machinery or anything? It's nope. We're just looking for And he kind of showed me a little bit about what you see, and
I'm sure the technology would be a changing in that also. Believe it or not, I don't think we've talked about termites on the show lately, but some of the new termites that are coming into the area that came from the islands and things like that, that are much worse than the termites that we have here existing.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing. You talk about monocropping. You talk about, everybody likes the potatoes when they go to get the burgers, but whenever they monocrop that one particular potato, it leads into the inspection, or the not inspection, the insects.
Mm-hmm.
Getting into that, it's making stronger. And then you get into the bees. Bees.
And I have multiple inspectors, and all of my guys, we enjoy working with the first-time home buyers. I mean, if they want to come out and really learn more about their home, and I absolutely suggest that they be on the inspection. They don't necessarily have to be there from start to finish, but make plans to be there part of the inspection. A typical inspection is going to take us 2.5, 3 hours. Be there the last hour. If you don't want to be there the entire time, at least be there the final hour that we can go over all the findings and show you
the
different
recap
things.
at the end, right?
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Get that recap done. Awesome. Jay Smith. More from Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection, coming up, as well as our expert contributors. Couple of hot listings. Just reduced this property at 10616 Cape Hatteras Drive in Tampa. It's now $375,000. Just reduced. Now, this is in Palm Bay. This is a gated community, in a gated community. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, pool with a spa on a conservation lot. Gated community within a gated community. 10616 Cape Hatteras Drive in Tampa. Over right at 3,000 square feet, $375,000. Great property, just reduced. And 701 East Crenshaw Street in Tampa. Another beautiful property. This was a renovation. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 1969 year build. Over 2,350 square feet. Great buying opportunity. 701 East Crenshaw Street in Tampa. And more from our expert contributors when we come back. We're going to go through our top 10 most popular sports in 2017, as well as our feel-good story of the week. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, everybody. I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes here, and we are jumping right into our final segment. We got our top 10 list coming up, and we got our feel-good story of the week. And before we do, I want to give a shout out to Felicia Lacaille with Healthy Gourmet. She's a meal delivery service, healthy food, optimal organics, optimal fuel, optimal performance, organic veggies, natural proteins delivered fresh 3 times a week. Meal plan starting at only $90 a week. And what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? Reach out to Felicia Lacaille with Healthy Gourmet, organic veggies, natural proteins. And I love it when Monday, Wednesday, Friday roll around. New delivery of all of my favorite foods coming in. And it's just teasing the taste buds every week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Awesome food. Healthy Gourmet. Longtime friend of the program, Felicia Lacaille. And get that. Go ahead and sign up for that. And reach out to us at 813-670-7372. And 670-7372 and consumerqb.com. All right, we got some sports guys in the house. We're going to talk top 10 most popular sports in 2017. In studio with me today here, we've got Bob Henriquez. He's the Hillsborough County Property Appraiser. We got Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection, and Jake Alexander with Alexander Financial. He's a tax expert, enrolled agent. So let's talk about these top sports. Now, this must be a worldwide list. Doesn't have the actual source here.
Is this U.S. or what?
No, I think I'm going to go ahead and say it's a worldwide list. So we got the top 10 most popular sports. We always start right here, Bob. Top 10.
Soccer, well, football. Soccer's got to be number 1.
Soccer's number 1. You got it. Soccer's number 1. All right, so Bob's got number 1 there. Jake?
Although this isn't my personal favorite, I know NASCAR is very big.
Oh, man.
Is that
not on the list? All right, Jay?
We are starting football, American football.
American football is on the list. Surprisingly, number 10 on the list, American football.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's why I say this must be a world list here.
I've got to go with basketball. It's China. It's in Italy.
That is correct. You got hoops. Hoops is on the list. Basketball is on the list, number 9.
Oof, really good.
All right. Jake?
I'm a little sore about the last one. Let's go baseball.
Baseball is on the list. Number 7 is baseball.
All right, where's the water polo?
Water polo. Water polo.
It was close 11.
11.
Yeah.
I thought it was moving up the list.
That's got to be. Yeah, close 11. Yeah. All
Track
right,
and field.
Track and field.
Track
and field. I'm not seeing that one on here, Bob. I'm going to give you field hockey, though. That's what you've been, right? Field hockey.
This is tough.
They're always nice to the guy that, the property appraiser's office, I guess.
Yeah, there we go. Right. Yeah, exactly. All right, Jake.
What's the thing on the ice where they do and they go right? Curling.
Curling is not on the list. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and fill it in here.
Well, hockey in general.
Hockey in general.
I meant hockey. Is that?
Yeah, hockey's not on the list.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So surprising. All right, let's do from 10 up. So number 10 was American football. Number 9, basketball. 8 is golf. Golf is a worldwide sport. Number 7, baseball. Number 6, table tennis.
Wow.
Volleyball, number 5. And regular tennis. Tennis is number 4.
Okay.
Number 3 is field hockey. Number 2 is big popular in India. Can you guess it? Popular in India. I think that's where it's popular. Cricket.
Wow.
Cricket. Yeah. And then number 1 is soccer. So there's your top 10 list for today. And we do have a feel-good story for you. We're going to tell you something good. That was a great story. Police officer buys a shirt and a tie for a shoplifter who needed an outfit for a job interview. So a shoplifter in Toronto was caught stealing an outfit for a job interview. He's given a second chance by a police officer who came to arrest him. And he said that his partner were carried out of Walmart where they reportedly theft. When he arrived, the loss prevention officer at the store apprehended the 18-year-old man stealing a dress shirt, tie, and socks. After speaking with the shoplifter, the police officer discovered the young man needed an outfit for an upcoming job interview. And the quote is, this young person has been facing his own difficulties in life, and he was looking to straighten out all of that by providing for his family, trying to get a job, Jason told CP24. So after releasing the shoplifter without charge, he purchased the shirt and tie for him and gave him the clothing. And the individual didn't have any resources. He wanted to get that job. So he tried to help him, and he said arresting him wouldn't have been in the best interest for anyone. He sold him, and I reacted very positively to the news. All issues were resolved. Any action after the officer took to reiterate our goal is to be positive role models in the community. So there's your feel-good story of the week.
Do we know if he got the job?
Yeah, I wish I knew.
If he didn't, it's because he went with no pants, apparently.
Yeah, he had the shirt and tie.
If it was a Skype interview, you can do that, though, you know?
Yeah, that could be. He could have gotten lucky there with the Skype interview. That's great. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning
Top
rounds.
tips, things to do, nuggets of advice, parting words of advice. Bob Henriquez, Hillsborough County Property Appraiser.
Well, be on the lookout. The trim notice is going to be coming to you in the next couple weeks, and take advantage of reading it. It's literally everything that you need to know. The notice of proposed taxes. A lot of good information on there. A lot of people get that and they say, well, it says this is not a bill, so they don't read it.
Yeah.
Take a look at it. Give us a call if you have any questions. We'll be glad to answer those as best we can.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good stuff. Jake Alexander Financial.
Oh, yeah. So lightning round, I would say plan. Proactive versus reactive any day of the week, especially when it comes to taxes. There's no question too big or too small. Work with somebody who speaks your language. You know, we've talked about that stuff before. And don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed. Reach out. I love helping people with those kind of situations. And that's what we're here for.
Yeah, it could be something as simple as, hey, is it an LLC versus an S Corp? You can also go back and review previous years for folks too.
Amendments is a big part of our business. So yeah, you can go back a few years, and a lot of times we'll find either things that were missed or mistakes. I mean, there's 1,000 different scenarios, but yeah, that's a huge part of our business as well. And so we love bringing on new clients under that pretense because it shows the extra, value that we're going to provide and the extra mile that we go when we can find things that other people have missed. So
I like that, Jake. I like that. Alexander Financial. All right, Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection.
Always get it inspected. Doesn't matter whether you're buying a condo, mobile home, a brand new home, an old home, get them inspected.
Yeah.
If you really want to get the scoop on your next house, give Snoop Inspection a call. We'll go through the home and show you the things that should be fixed now and things that may be coming up in the near future.
Yeah, and you also do commercial as well.
We do light commercial also.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right, let's do another round here. We got enough time for another round of top tips, things to do, things to avoid, nuggets of advice. Bob Henriquez.
Well, going back to the trim notice, since that's the theme of the month. If you find something, you have a question, and this goes throughout the year, but really, particularly once we get into August through November when the tax bills come out, give us a call. We would rather deal with things, work with folks. If we're wrong, we're going to fix it. Tie goes to the taxpayer. And we want to make sure that we provide the best customer service we possibly can. So give us a call, get on our website. We have a brand new, the best, I believe as good a website as anybody in the country in a public agency. So let us know how we can help.
Nice. I like that. All right, Jake.
Man, that was all I had. Now I got to.
That's all you had?
Come on. But I think just to kind of echo.
Play cricket.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
there we go.
there you go.
No, just the value in having good resources and being able to reach out to people and getting your professionals that you have involved in your life to work together, whether it be the mortgage professional and your real estate agent, get the county appraiser involved. If you have questions on your tax rate or your portability issues, I think there's a lot of value and there's a lot to be said for that. So
my question, we had the lightning round. How come the second time around's not the thunder round?
The thunder round,
know.
lightning and thunder.
Yeah,
I like that.
They always one follows the other.
So the NASCAR. Remember the Will Ferrell show, right? Jake.
Jake, it's Jay. It's heart of hurricane season. If anything's going to be hurt in your house, it's going to be the roof. Take a look around. Keep an eye on your roof. If you think you need to get an inspection, we do limited inspections. Give us a call. We're at that time. The next 2 months are the rough time of the season, and if anything's going to tear up your house, it's going to be the roof.
That's right. I mean, a 4-point is just over $100, right?
That's it.
Yeah, so it's very affordable to get that done, and at least you have that peace of mind. And it's great to do that every now and then anyways, just to find out what your asset, and a lot of times your number one asset, and if you're an investor, you've got multiple assets that you want to inspect as well. So I want to thank all of our expert contributors, Bob Henriquez, Hillsborough County Property Appraiser. Thanks for coming in. Jake Alexander Financial as well. He's an enrolled agent with the IRS, as well as Jay Smith, owner of A Snoop Inspection. And he's a inspector here in Tampa Bay, helping you win in any marketplace. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness, something as simple as packing up leftover food you may have, carrying it with you to and from your commute to work, handing it to that person that you see in need that's on the side of the road or wherever they might be. And be a force for good in the community. Go out there and be positive in the community, volunteer, and get involved with youth organizations and be a force for good out there. And continue to tune in to the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to help you win in any marketplace. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show. Weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.